We've entered a new era of YouTube, and most founders and businesses have no idea how much everything has changed in the last 6 months. So they're still uploading videos the same way, using the same old tactics and following the same playbook. And then wondering why their videos are not getting the same views and sales they expected. But you don't have to be one of those people. If you understand what's actually changing right now and you adjust early, or even if you're about to start right now, you can win while everyone else keeps struggling. And if you're wondering why you should listen to me, it's because I've spent the last 11 years on YouTube helping creators totaling 500 million subscribers and businesses collectively doing over $100 million in revenue a year. And right now I'm seeing patterns even most YouTube gurus haven't been able to piece together properly. Now I'm not talking about basic things like people consuming more YouTube on their TV or shit like that, because that doesn't even matter that much to you. I'm gonna actually walk you through the biggest shifts happening on YouTube in 2026, how the algorithm has changed quietly, why it matters, and what actually works now if your goal is to grow a brand that gets you views and sales. You see, starting a YouTube channel for your business was significantly easier in 2024 than it is right now. You could upload a handful of unedited videos, hit the right keywords, and see traction relatively fast, especially in niches where competition was still fragmented or inconsistent. Which is why you saw people like William Brown, Dan Koh, Mark Bill's Brands, and Sam Sulek seemingly coming out of nowhere and dominating YouTube instantly. But that raw content era is over. You don't see new creators breaking out nearly as easily with low effort content today. And it's because every market is getting saturated. And honestly, that's a great thing. We'll talk about how to leverage it a bit later, but saturation is happening exponentially faster because the barrier to entry is basically gone. Anyone in the world, even with zero experience, can start making videos and frankly look like an authority in any space. Because AI can write scripts in minutes, video ideas are infinitely available, and thumbnails can be made in Canva or generated by AI and still look good enough. When the game gets crowded and filled with AI slop, YouTube as a platform cannot reward everyone fast enough anymore. So the platform had to install a filter sometime in the middle of 2025, but very quietly. So today it's normal for almost nothing to happen for the first 10 to 15 YouTube videos for almost anyone. I've seen this across dozens of channels I've worked on since, especially when a niche is saturated or has massively established YouTubers already. Here's an example from my client, Christian. He's a luxury watch dealer where the first video crossed 1,000 views and the next 8 videos didn't even reach 300 views. But we still kept going. And then the 10th one crossed 3,000 views, then the 12th one did 3,000 again, then the next one did 4,000, then a couple videos did 6,000, then 11,000, then we broke till even 37,000 views on a video a couple weeks later. Now this is of course an outlier and not typical result, but as long as you upload good content weekly with actually good titles and thumbnails, results like these have started to become inevitable. Because this initial filter is actually good for the small percentage of people who can push past that invisible trust window without needing external validation for the first 12 to 15 videos. But here's the thing you need to be very careful of in order to ensure you don't accidentally sabotage your channel. Because just speedrunning 15 shitty videos won't cut it anymore. And that is why it's integral you watch the next part of this video so you don't make the mistake that 97% of people will make even after hearing the first shift. Because you might think YouTube is judging quality now, right? Because there's more saturation, they'll care more about the quality of your videos. That's not exactly what's happening. It's actually judging distinctiveness and clarity. And this is why I want to talk about something most creators will probably never know exists. It's something a product manager at Google, the literal guy leading YouTube's discovery system, has only very recently revealed in a niche conference even I didn't know existed until a couple weeks ago. Because YouTube in 2026 doesn't see your video the way you see your video. Now let's take an example from Alex Hormozi to explain this. See, a couple months ago he uploaded a video titled if I started a business in 2026, I'd do this. And it got 1 million views. So now 5 other founders think they should also upload the same video. They copy the title, maybe some of them even copy the thumbnail, and maybe some of them even copy the things he's actually saying in the video. And from YouTube's perspective, the closer your video is to Alex Hormozi's, the less likely it is to get views. Why? Because YouTube now looks at something called content clusters. And once one video in a cluster performs well, YouTube doesn't want 55 clones of that video, because the system is now built to maximize diversity between what it shows a viewer. If it keeps serving the same idea repeatedly, user satisfaction will drop, which means if you upload something too close to a proven winner, you fall inside what YouTube is now calling the conflict radius. And the closer you get to a popular video's radius, the lesser impressions your content gets. Not because your content is bad, but because YouTube thinks it's redundant. Which is why the advantage is no longer just execution, the advantage is knowing what to do, but more importantly, what not to do on the platform. And the secret you probably don't realize is that every single entrepreneur on your feed today is spending thousands of dollars a month outsourcing the thinking and the strategy to YouTube agencies and strategists like myself. And I mean it when I say every single entrepreneur you know. And that's regardless of niche, regardless of audience size. If they're getting views and sales on YouTube, they're working with somebody who's an expert. And this definitely means your competitors too. Which is why the real advantage comes from something people misunderstand completely. When there's AI content everywhere, you think what you should do is you need to do something different. You need to stand out. You need to be original and unique. You need unique hooks, unique editing, unique format. But YouTube actually doesn't even reward originality in isolation. Because the more original your content is, the lesser YouTube understands what to do with it. And remember, YouTube's trust is of utmost importance early on. Which is why if you only study people in your exact niche, you end up recycling the same content everyone else is using, like copying Alex Hormozi. And you don't just become a parrot of your biggest competitors without any differentiation. YouTube literally tells you they're going to deprioritize you today. And that's why most business-focused YouTube channels never grow. It's because everybody is copying their competitors. But the real secret instead is studying your adjacent competitors and alternative competitors. In simple terms, this means either people who speak to the exact same audience but talk about a different business model or topic. So for example, I make videos to help entrepreneurs grow on YouTube. So I will look at people who make content for entrepreneurs to grow on LinkedIn, for entrepreneurs to grow on Facebook, for entrepreneurs to grow on school. Or you want to study people who speak to a different audience but talk about the same topic as you. So for example, I look at people who make general YouTube growth videos for the MrBeast fan. Because if you only look upwards, you normalize the ceiling. But when you look diagonally either direction, you start borrowing frameworks that feel fresh inside your niche. So when you see a format working repeatedly across adjacent or alternative niches and then bring that content format into your own niche, that's when you unlock the secret to attracting thousands of qualified leads every single month from your YouTube channel. Because real originality doesn't come from doing something nobody has done before. It just comes from putting things together in a way that most others don't or they can't. Now, once you see these patterns clearly, the next mistake is going to become extremely dangerous, which is why you need to be very, very, very careful and understand this next very important thing YouTube has done very recently that they haven't really publicly announced, but I found in some research papers, so it's very important. YouTube today wants to know with increased certainty exactly who your channel is for. Because YouTube is now giving each video something they're calling a semantic ID, which basically means your video is being judged not based on just the title or the thumbnail or the description of the video. It's also being judged by YouTube based on the transcript, the visuals in your editing, your speech pattern, your background, your accent, the points you make in your content, and literally everything you can think about. That also means a very crucial thing. Search engine optimization, or SEO, is not as important anymore. Because good keywords and a decent title used to be the recipe for success a couple years ago, and they're there are still outdated gurus talking about the 2022 SEO tactics, like using tags or naming your video file a certain way, but frankly, all of that stuff is bullshit today. YouTube is not dumb like they were several years ago. But this does not mean SEO is completely gone and useless. It is fading away and soon going to change completely, because YouTube is now changing the search algorithm in a very interesting manner. Now, I won't get into the exact details of it because it's frankly a lot to cover, but basically all you need to know is that if 10 people search the exact same phrase or keyword on YouTube today, they might now all get different results popping at the top. Because, like I said before, YouTube now analyzes the actual content of your video and then it builds a classification model around it and categorizes it. So now going back to why being original can be kind of stupid, it's because the more unique your content is, the less likely YouTube is to know where to categorize it. So now combine this with the first dozen videos having a trust window, and you can see why the more your channel jumps between content topics, the less likely anyone is to see your content. Let's say your channel talks about business growth one week, and then the next video is about the mindset that made you millions of dollars. Then the next video is about a productivity guide, and you talk about looks maxing after that, and then you throw in a random vlog from your recent Bali trip or Thailand or whatever. That might look pretty cool to you and you might think people are going to perceive you as an authority, but it just makes your channel look incoherent to the algorithm. Because the algorithm frankly doesn't care about you. It's not trying to understand you as a person. It's trying to match viewers to channels they will return to. So if AI makes execution easy, copying is not great, originality alone is going to confuse the algorithm, and SEO doesn't fix clarity, then what actually works? And this is the most important part of this video in my opinion, which is why I kept it only towards the end. So only the people willing to go past all the technicality of it understand exactly what to do next. Most of us have been treating YouTube like a collection of different videos instead of what it is actually becoming. Now, YouTube wants you to treat it like an ecosystem. Because most people treat each video like a lottery ticket, right? This one needs to go viral, or this is the one that's going to convert people. But in 2026, YouTube doesn't reward isolated spikes, and frankly, just spraying and praying is not the ideal approach, because you need to have a structured ecosystem. Because the algorithm today isn't just judging each video individually, it's also judging the pattern across your channel, which means you must be making 3 different types of videos. Now, the first one is what I'll call introduction videos. These are essentially what in business terms is called top of funnel. Now, these videos exist to introduce your business opportunity or mechanism and attract new people into your ecosystem and create curiosity for them to want to know more about you or your business or your offer. So these videos would be like the experiments, contrarian takes, I analyzed 1,000 viral videos, here's what works, or just market updates like this one. The job of these videos is to get you reach, and typically they won't result in conversion, although they sometimes do, but typically these are not the conversion based videos. These videos are more so catered towards bringing people into your ecosystem, and when done correctly, they position you as someone who understands the game. Now, this is where most creators struggle. They think that making top of funnel, broad, viral videos is the solution to grow their business, but it's just what gets you awareness. It's not what gets you sales. What gets you sales is the next type of content, which I call understanding content, or in business, that's the middle of funnel. Now, these videos, they build depth. They will typically solve a real problem your ideal client persona has, your ICP, your target audience has, or it'll explain a mechanism very clearly, or it'll handle an objection, or it'll give someone something they can apply immediately, something very actionable. This is where trust is built, because these videos give the viewer clarity, and clarity compounds satisfaction, and satisfaction is what tells YouTube to show this channel to people again. Now, these videos don't typically go viral. They can sometimes, like a free course video, but they typically increase return rate and then of course conversion rate. But the returning viewer rate is very important, because when someone watches you several times, YouTube doesn't need to test you anymore. The trust window is not required with that viewer anymore, and YouTube is just going to start distributing you faster the more people trust you and keep coming back to your content. But of course, not every channel gets conversions from videos which are middle of funnel. Typically, you want to go for the confirmation content or the bottom of funnel content. These are the videos that remove doubt because they are the case study videos, the student interview videos, the client results or testimonial based videos. And there's ways, of course, to incorporate some of these parts into your top of funnel and middle of funnel content. But typically, these are the videos that the hottest buyer is going to consume, the one who's just thinking about buying from you. These videos are required for them to buy from you because the job of these videos is just to make people believe that you are the solution to their problems. But of course, think logically. Don't try to make bottom of funnel videos when you only get 100 views on your channel, because you only want to do these when you're actually getting traction. Let's say you're getting 10,000 views on your top of funnel content, 1,000 on your middle of funnel, and maybe 100 or 200 on the bottom of funnel. That's fine because 10,000 people are still coming and getting to know your channel and 100 of them are reaching your bottom of funnel. But if you're getting 100 views on your top of funnel content, you're gonna get maybe 10, 15, 20 views on your bottom of funnel, and it's just not the highest leverage activity. Your goal should then be to just increase the view ceiling, the baseline views you have first, which is why you have to look at all of these videos together as a system, a well-oiled machine, and you want to have the right ratio, and the ratio actually depends on the niche you're in. Some niches require 50% top of funnel, some of them require 80% top of funnel, some require 10% top of funnel. It totally depends on the niche you're in, how sophisticated it is, and just a lot of things that I don't have the time to talk about here. So if you're serious about understanding more of the missing pieces in this video, the actionable advice, you have two paths in front of you. The first one is if you want to do this yourself. I've put together a completely free 3-hour-long breakdown of exactly how to start a YouTube channel from zero in 2026 and make at least $100,000 from it. Step by step, no fluff. It's just on my channel. You can just go and watch it right now. It goes over everything from starting, doing research, writing scripts, filming the content, editing, thumbnails. But if you're already running a business, you don't have the time to watch that kind of content, and you want to work with somebody who's been inside this ecosystem for over a decade and given YouTube advice to people as big as MrBeast and Tai Lopez, and you don't want to waste the next 6 months guessing what to do with your current or future YouTube channel, you can book a call from the link in the description. Now, that call is actually with me personally. It's not some bullshit sales rep that's going to come and try to sell you on shit. I don't care about all that stuff. So how it instead works is you fill out the Calendly form from the description. I'll see if I even think I can help you. If I can, I'll keep the call. Otherwise, I'll just cancel it. And if I can help you, I'll hop on, look at your positioning, the market, your current content, if you have any. And I'll tell you honestly, if I can help you, whether it's through mentorship, one-on-one strategy, or my team actually handling your entire YouTube system for you. And if we're a fit, we'll work together. But if not, I promise you, you will not leave the call until you have the clarity you need. So either click below to book a call or click here to watch the free 3-hour course. The choice is yours.